What if I told you there's a real animal that looks like it escaped from a horror movie? I knew Moon. An animal with giant glowing eyes, long spider-like fingers, and movement so strange that people once believed it was cursed. Meet the Eye, one of the weirdest primates on Earth. And honestly, the first time most people see one, they think it can't possibly be real. At first glance, the Eye looks almost unnatural. Its dark fur, oversized ears, massive eyes, and extremely thin fingers make it look more like a creature designed for a fantasy film than something living in nature. But somehow, this terrifying little animal is completely real. The Eye lives deep in the forests of Madagascar, mostly active during the night. And that's where things start becoming even stranger. Because this animal has one finger that looks completely different from the others. Long, thin, bony, and almost skeletal. And surprisingly, that horrifying finger is actually a perfect survival tool. You see, the Eye hunts in a way almost no other animal does. At night, it quietly moves across tree branches, tapping on wood over and over again with its fingers. Listening carefully. Because hidden inside the trees are tiny insect larvae. And somehow, the Eye can hear the empty spaces inside the wood. Once it detects movement beneath the bark, it uses its sharp teeth to tear open the tree. Then slides its long middle finger inside to pull the insects out. Which honestly feels less like normal hunting. And more like something from a nightmare. Loudly crying face. And the strangest part? That finger moves almost independently, bending in creepy ways that make the Eye look even more unsettling in the dark. Which explains why people in Madagascar feared these animals for centuries. In some local legends, seeing an Eye was considered a sign of bad luck or even death. Some people believed the animal was cursed. Others thought it brought disasters to villages. And sadly, those fears caused many Eyes to be killed on sight. Which became a serious problem for the species. Because despite their terrifying appearance, Eyes are actually harmless to humans. They're shy, intelligent, and spend most of their lives avoiding people completely. But unfortunately, humans often fear things they don't understand. And honestly, it's easy to see why the Eye frightens so many people. Imagine walking through a dark forest, and suddenly seeing glowing eyes staring at you from the trees. Followed by a thin skeletal hand slowly tapping on wood in total silence. Loudly crying face. Yeah. That would terrify almost anyone. But the more scientists studied the Eye, the more fascinating it became. Because nearly every strange feature on its body serves a purpose. Its giant ears help it detect tiny sounds hidden inside trees. Its sharp teeth never stop growing, almost like a rodent's. It's huge, which means the Eye isn't some broken animal. It's actually a perfectly evolved survivor. And strangely enough, the internet eventually became obsessed with it too. Videos and photos of Eyes started spreading online because people couldn't believe an animal this strange actually existed. Some called it creepy. Others called it adorable. And many people simply stared at it thinking, what am I even looking at, loudly crying face? Which honestly may be the perfect reaction. Because the Eye feels like one of those creatures that shouldn't exist. Yet somehow does. And despite its terrifying reputation, this strange little primate plays an important role in Madagascar's ecosystem by controlling insects hidden inside trees. Meaning the forests actually need animals like the Eye to stay healthy. But sadly, habitat destruction and fear from humans still threaten their survival today. Which is tragic. The Eye becomes something much more interesting. Not a monster. Not a curse. But one of evolution's strangest masterpieces. A tiny creature with giant eyes, skeletal fingers, and one of the weirdest survival methods ever seen in the animal kingdom. I knew moon sparkles.